Welcome back to my channel. This is Old New Dude with theories and tinfoil of Game of Thrones and beyond. I had the hardest time coming up with the ideas for this video. There's several out there that I wanted to discuss. It's a little bit later than I wanted to do a video. Life happened. Uh, I watched Gray Area today discussing the Jon Snow chapter where he meets Tyrion and the the foreshadowing done in that chapter. They got me thinking. I have there's a lot of people out there that are the Stargaryen fans, the Stark Targaryen. Um, I'm not on board with that. I think that's too simple for George R. R. Martin. I for the longest time and still believe that he's the true heir to Winterfell and he is Chardane and Ned's son. Then I got to thinking through all these books, we're told, especially when we're talking about Brandon Stark, that he was a lot like Robert when he was alive, uh, full of life and a man people just men wanted to be and women wanted to do. And according to Lady Dustin, there wasn't nothing he liked better than to do than to break some maidenheads, if you will. He liked getting busy more than he liked having blood on his sword. So, with all these kids running around now, almost man grown, and we haven't seen any Brandon kids. So it got me thinking, how could any of the people that we've seen so far possibly be a secret Brandon son or daughter? So I got to playing around with a couple of the characters, and it's the only one that fits to fall in that category would be Jon. One of the early drafts that George had for these books, I think it was he made Jaime the king, and Jon and Arya were married or in love, or I think there was even a talk of a triangle with them and Tyrion. Well, the only way this works in their world and ours is for Arya and Jon not to be brother and sister. And the only way that works out is if everyone's right, or most people are right, that Jon's a secret Targaryen, which would make him her cousin, or if he's a secret Brandon child. I'm not going to. I don't think he's a Brandon bastard, but I think he is definitely trueborn. But for my little Brandon, uh, for lack of a better word, just a what if, he would still be trueborn. Let's take it back to the last possible time that Chardane and Brandon could see each other would be King's Landing, the last place Brandon was for, I think it was a couple of weeks. At least two, maybe a little more. Probably a little more because he had to wait for the letter to reach Lord Rickon for him to have to come down to King's Landing and stand before the king to answer for his son's crimes. So you got to travel in a haste. You're looking at probably 2 weeks plus the message getting to him. So you're looking at least 3 weeks, maybe even more. Supposed to be Chardane, or possibly Chardane's on Dragonstone with the princess. But George has said plenty of times her feet weren't nailed down. They had ships. She had ships. If not hers, others. So one of the princesses, lady in waitings, could go to King's Landing. I mean, she's part of the princess's detail. How she could even left when Rhaegar left, we don't know. But if she's in King's Landing, her and Brandon, I think, have history. I think there's a bit of a love triangle between Brandon, Ashara, and Ned. George likes his triangles. Um, so Brandon gets captured, put in the black cells, and who do we know that has easy access to the black cells and could arrange for Ashara to meet with Brandon in secret? Bears. And what got me thinking about that was rereading again. When Catelyn asked Peter Baelish when she first gets to King's Landing with that dagger, then they start talking about Varys. She says, "Does he know about?" And then Peter stops her, and he says, "He knows everything." And then there's a theory that in that letter that her sister sent her in the hidden letter, in a language only her and her sister could read, supposedly. Jon's true lineage or whatever in the letter about Jon, basically saying, hey, he's either Brandon's son or Brandon and Ashara, Ned and Ashara. He's trueborn. He's the only heir to Winterfell, which gets her all nervous. She sucks. But that's not for this video. But we got Varys, who could easily get her in, would know that they were getting busy. She leaves King's Landing before shit hits the fan. Somewhere in there gets back with Ned after everything's happened and the brother and the father are dead. She doesn't even know she's with child. She just knows she got busy with him. I doubt there was a secret marriage. Now you still got I think Order the Greenhand does a video. I don't link, sorry. Technology and me suck. But they talk about travels and all that stuff going through the fingers, and she's the fisherman's daughter that everybody thinks he left a bastard in her belly. But either Ned knows that in the journey that she's starting to show, and she tells him who the father is, and Ned loves this woman, and she's a highborn lady, and her brother left a baby in the belly, a bun in the oven. If it's that scenario, I mean, what would Ned do? Would he let the woman he loves give birth to a bastard? I mean, even with the marriage to Catelyn, they said it was customary for the younger brother to take the older brother's place. Well, same could be applied here, but he'd probably be a little bit more enthusiastic about it because it's a Shar. So yeah, he would marry her, knowing that Jon wasn't his. And the same scenario plays out to White Harbor and the Wolf's Den and all that. There's nothing different to that theory. Or she doesn't tell him. She when she starts the show, it's not enough for him to notice a lot going on. They do the nasty at the sisters after a near-death experience, and he does what he thinks is right. After sleeping with a noble lady, he marries her just like his son did. So, and then they go to White Harbor and the Wolf's Den, and when people first read the story, they think he's named after Jon Snow, after Jon Arryn. But he's named after the king that built the Wolf's Den, more likely. But when he married her at White Harbor in the Godswood, Jon was no longer a bastard. He wouldn't be born a bastard. Whether he knew it was Brandon's or his, either way, it doesn't matter. It's still he married a Chardane, then he basically made Jon a legitimate Stark. And then all the other crap happened. He had to marry Catelyn, and he dishonored himself and Catelyn in the sight of gods and men and all that. And then his marriage to Catelyn is not valid, and all their children are actually bastards. So I like the Brandon theory. I love the Ned theory. Either way, he's the true heir to Winterfell. I think Benjen knew. That's why he kind of finagled him to take the Black. And then once he did, he treated him like kind of shit. Started on the way to the wall. He spent more time with Tyrion than his uncle. That was so nice at Winterfell until, okay, Jon's taking the Black. I got what I wanted. Ned made me take the Black for knowing about Lyanna and Rhaegar, so he got even. He took his one true born son and in a MacGyver kind of way, got him to take Black. So now he got even. So Benjen sucks. And yeah, he did run tail, and he's not dead. He's not cold hands. But we're getting off track here. But the two brothers that were found when Jon and Sam took their oath in the little Godwood circle just north of the wall that Ghost found the hand, Benjen killed them. And they laid there till then. Then Benjen ran off. Chances are he's across the sea. We've probably already seen him. Or will see him. Let's see. But yeah, that's the Brandon theory. It's not as fancy as the secret Targaryen, but if you're, I just ain't buying it. Sorry. I know I'm kind of slow today. It's not preparing for a video. It's probably not the best time to make a video. But this one's running a little long. Next video we'll be talking about the prince that was promised. My theory is a little different. Some have already said it, but it's not the main ones. I guarantee you that. It's not Dany. It's not Jon. Yeah, Jon could be the next Sword of the Morning with his Dane blood. I think that's why Mance Rayder keeps calling him bastard over and over and over again. Mance Rayder knows who Jon truly is. He knows what he gave up to come to the wall. He knows that his sister's son gave everything up and was sitting at the wall. But yeah. All right. Well, instead of boring you anymore, like I said before, don't care if you like, don't care if you subscribe. That's not me. Leave a comment though on the theories you've heard so far, or one you got yourself. I would love to hear somebody else's temple. I don't shoot down temple. I don't badmouth temple. I don't badmouth other people's ideas. Everybody reads this book, get something different from it, and a lot of times it's just a gut feeling, and then you got to find the stuff to support it. And I ain't much on research, and you can definitely tell I ain't much on making my videos look pretty. But a shout out to Gray Area that is still putting out videos. I do appreciate that. I ain't so much of a fan of the live talks as much, but all right, well, thank you for watching. This has been Old New Dude with Theories and Temple of Game of Thrones and beyond, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.